Hello, welcome to Therapeutic World, and you're listening to me, Shell Baker. And today I'm going to be interviewing two ex-Level 3 students on their experiences on Level 3 counselling studies. Okay, so what was the most enjoyable thing that you found on the course?
For me, I enjoyed learning the different theories, and I enjoyed the fact that you could look into them. It wasn't so much a structured, this is what the theory is, this is how it works. You're allowed to look at it and question it. That I found quite more interesting to work with it.
Yes.
And I loved doing the case study. That was probably my favourite bit of the whole course, was the case study.
Yes.
I was going to mention that as well. I think case study, for those who don't know, we are paired up with a peer, and for 6 sessions, so 6 weeks, we have like 20 minutes of counselling sessions with them where we learn about an issue and we just kind of develop that issue, develop our theory, develop our understanding of counselling, and I found that the most fun, I think, because you not only develop them, but you grow as a potential counsellor. And I was just, I really like those sessions. I look forward to those sessions.
Yeah. It's
really
kind of a little taste of the real thing, I suppose.
Definitely.
What it's going to be like.
And not all sessions were easy. There were like ups and downs, but I think that's when you grow. Like,
when you're faced with something that you haven't dealt with before in the trials.
Yeah. It was, and supervision afterwards, which is when our peers also help us overcome a certain issue. That's when you also like develop and you realise that actually the way maybe you were dealing with it was wrong, or the way you can deal with it can be completely different. So I really
so the
like
supervision was to help you with the work that you were doing within your within your group.
It's very guiding.
Very guiding. It was great. Yeah.
Very useful.
Yep.
Okay, so you guys, you've both done Level 2. Mm-hmm. So how does Level 2 differ from Level 3? And that's quite a popular question that students are wanting to know.
So there is definitely more criteria to meet, in the sense of we have to write more, and it's deeper. Our knowledge is deeper, and our understanding of the counselling is deeper. More theories, definitely. Yes. So you learn about different types of theories.
So more theory, because on Level 2 it's pretty basic, isn't it? And you're just introduced to perhaps
Carl Rogers
and Rogers.
That's the thing. It's an introduction, isn't it? You learn the more in depth and different theories as well on Level 3.
Definitely. We have more assignments, I would say.
Yes.
Because we've got the essay, the case study, the learning reviews.
You've got the 2 big projects really on that course, so it's not just the...
And a lot more reading.
So as you progress, I suppose the work gets deeper.
Much deeper.
Doesn't it?
Much deeper.
There's just not that much more, but, you know.
It's just using theory more in your answers, I would say, and theory in your work.
Very much.
Yeah. That's where it goes. That's where what you don't do in Level 2.
Yeah.
You don't use that much theory. You might use the basics, like the 3, core conditions of Carl Rogers, immediacy, all that stuff. But there you use the psychodynamic approach, or you might put in some transactional analysis in there as well.
Yeah. And more focused too.
Much more focused. So, looking at things that have happened with yourself and applying theory to those. It's not even necessarily things that you're working with another person. So that was quite interesting for a personal development level.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, you do develop.
So looking at yourself. So this is the self-awareness. But although we do that on the level 2, I suppose it's a much more deeper. Because you're becoming more and more self-aware, so you're seeing more, I suppose, as you explore different theories and interact with the group.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you've mentioned the case study already.
Mm-hmm.
So what other assignments do you cover?
Cover the essay.
Yes.
Okay. So we do an essay, and that's we are asked to sort of describe 2 approaches.
Okay.
So usually it's maybe the Carl Rogers and the psychodynamic approach, and then we're asked in that essay you also talk about how you used it in certain situations, how you applied theory in your counselling work or theory in yourself.
All right,
which is very interesting.
You had the option of 2 essays as well.
So the option of 2 essays. Any other assignments?
The learning reviews.
The learning reviews.
The learning reviews, the weekly learning reviews.
Weekly learning reviews, which is basically similar to the Level 2, what we learnt in class. But like
criteria.
Meeting the criteria, but like we said before, more reading, more in-depth knowledge that goes into the learning reviews.
Yeah.
It's not just the basic, this is what we did and that's it. It's more actually reflecting why it's being used, reflecting how it can help the client as well, which is, like I said, a much more deeper approach.
Yeah.
So the learning review is basically an understanding of what was covered within the day.
Yeah.
Yes. But because we touch on different topics like diversity, like mental health, and other things like that, we can then use the theory to apply to those kind of different topics as well, or how counselling helps, for example, mental health.
Yeah.
Yes. So that's all those things are brought into the work.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other assignments?
Well, we've got the exam as well. I don't think there's an assignment. It's not really
so
assignment. It's work.
You've got the external assessment coming up.
Yeah.
And anything, your skills practice. So how does that work? Because that's quite important to build up your skills.
Yes.
We started off with the triads, just the same as level 2. We only did that for a few weeks, so you're still working exactly the same, counsellor, therapist, and an observer. And then after, I can't remember how many weeks it was.
I think we were in week 6 or week 5.
Was it that far in?
Yeah.
And then we started with the case study, so it's...
Yes. So let me just
developing
explain to the viewers what a skills practice will look like. It's where you where you counsel your peers. So you would have been in a group of 3, which is called triad group.
Yes.
On a particular issue.
Yes.
Okay, and then there's an observer, and the observer will give feedback on how you ran that counselling session.
Yes.
And this is really good preparation for when you go on to the level 4, because when you go on to the level 4, which is your next step, you're going to be seeing real clients.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, that was it, yes. But I think I learnt more from the case study than with the skills practice, mainly because we then continued that relationship with the client over the 6 periods,
right?
And delved deeper on maybe a specific issue, and it gives you more to work on than just the 20-minute skills practice that we get, where we have different people every week.
Right.
And you can't really
you can
go deeper with some approaches.
Far more help for them as well.
Yes.
When you're able to stay with them for a period of time.
Yeah, exactly.
So within the case study, you're seeing clients for 6, a particular client for 6 sessions.
Yes.
Every week.
Yes.
And then you're writing it up as a case study and to be handed in to your tutor.
Yes. Yeah. But what I wanted to add is, what you write up is not about the client's journey and what you learnt about.
No.
It's more about how you developed and
That's
how you
really
reflected
important.
and the
Really,
approaches
really
you used and thoughts and feelings that might have been brought up with what the client was saying. Like you might have brought something, or they might have brought something up that actually you're going through. How did you put that aside to focus on them?
Yes.
So the case study is more about you rather than about them.
So not about the client, it's how you work. So we don't want, things in there like where the client goes shopping or this and this happened. Yeah. It's what you did and how you used the theory to inform your work, what was going on implicitly for the client. What did you do?
Yes.
Rather than the client did this, the client did that, then I said this is what happened to the client and so on. So back to how you work. Okay, so it's a very busy busy course at the level 3. So how do you manage your time? Because it's quite a commitment.
It is a huge commitment.
It's a very big commitment. I try to... When I finish college, I don't do anything until at least the next day, and then start putting the homework together. Because we have a life outside of... excuse me, life outside of college, and it's...
Yeah, although you do that, has it been challenging?
It has been challenging sometimes. I'm not going to lie. There are times when I've been really quite exhausted with it, but we've all got... I think everybody on the course has got family or job commitments as well, and we're all managing to get through the course and do all the bits that we need to do at the time we need to do it. So it's not impossible.
Okay. It's not impossible. It isn't. But it is. You do have to be strict on yourself.
Yes.
Because you can write a learning review. Yeah, you could do that, but it's the background reading that takes up a lot of time. is that knowledge that you need to put into the learning reviews to make it a good enough work, because you could do the bare minimum and just about pass, but then when you go on to level 4, there's going to be so much gaps that you might be struggling with, because you haven't given yourself that opportunity to learn more in level 3. So it's more of finding the time to actually sit down and really, what I want to say as well, level 2, we cover the bare basics. Level 3, it's more reflections, and that takes a lot of time as well to understand the links and reflect on this, that, the other, and how that sort of might be applied to the real world. So it was, but I really enjoyed it.
And my advice is read as much as you can on the level 3, because from the level 3 it is a massive jump onto the level 4. So you want to get in as much reading as possible. You know, if you're struggling for time, you're going to have less time on the level 4. So get the reading in on the level 3, and that will really prepare you. Because shortly after going on the level 4, you're going to be seeing real clients, going out and seeing real people.
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
So do your reading.
Do your reading, definitely.
Okay, so one of the other questions on here, but do you see clients? Well, no, we know that no.
Not at the moment.
You don't.
No.
But you do have that trial in terms of the case study, preparing for the case study.
Yes, yeah.
And that's the nearest to preparation.
Yeah. That's the nearest to preparation that we get. I mean, you know, you always have helping relationships outside your work as well. I know that you work from home as a nail technician. I work in a school. So you have helping relationships where you can start applying the knowledge that you learned from level 3
and using your counselling skills.
And using that counselling skills. So you're constantly developing. Even if you don't work like that, you know, your family, friends come and ask for support. So you can start using that as well. So don't just limit yourself to college work.
Yes. Okay. So one of the things that you do get is 6 hours of personal therapy. So you have counsellors yourself. So you do. Tell the viewers, what is that experience like?
I found it very, very helpful, actually. It's nice to go and talk to somebody that's completely distant to everything else that you're doing, and you can talk to them about anything personal, or I spend a lot of time talking about the course and issues that I was having with stress, actually, because it was such a big amount of work to be taking on for me. And she gave me coping mechanisms for it, so that was perfect. She was really, really helpful for me.
Yeah, I've enjoyed it. It's definitely a journey. Quite a lot of time you don't want to go to counselling because you don't want to uncover things that you know are there. The first 2 sessions, because I had 2 counsellors, the first 2 sessions was a massive breakthrough for me, and I really enjoyed it. This counselling now that I get, it's really interesting actually to see how they work and how you were taught to become how you were taught to become a counsellor, and how they work, applying that real knowledge there. But you grow so much, and it's important to grow. You can't go into any level 3 or level 4 course with like almost boundaries and what I was going to say, sort of discrimination. You know, you learn level 2 that you can't. It's very hard you can't discriminate. You shouldn't be able to discriminate. You shouldn't be biased. And so not being able to open up yourself and grow as a person will limit the way you can help others. So it's more of just finding yourself and knowing who you are as a person, so that when another person comes for support, you can then support them.
And one of the things as well about having personal therapy is that when you go on to do the level 4 and you are seeing clients, you can kind of model your counsellor.
Oh, definitely.
In a way, and you'll know what it feels like to have counselling, rather than counselling someone and not knowing what that actually feels like.
Yeah.
Which is that's really, really, really important.
Definitely.
Okay, so would you recommend? It sounds like a bit of a silly question. Would you recommend doing the level 3?
Definitely.
Yes.
Would you recommend it?
100%.
In fact, I've talked a friend into doing it already.
Okay, all right. And lots of my students, they've recommended other people, their friends, to do the course.
Yeah.
You know.
I think just for personal growth,
definitely.
I think everybody should do it just for personal growth.
You grow so much.
But having got that far, you just want to learn more.
Yeah, and it doesn't mean to say, which is really important, that you're doing it because you want to become a counsellor. It could be that you're working with teenagers or with people, and you just want to develop your communication skills.
Yeah, and your understanding of other people.
Yeah,
there's quite a few people on our course actually that are doing work that's involving children or medical or things where it's useful just to have those skills.
Yeah.
Good. Okay, so we have come to an end. Is there anything that either of you guys would like to add?
I think if you have opportunity, just go for it. Go for the level 3. You won't regret it.
I was good. You took the words out of my mouth.
Hey,
lovely ending.
You will not regret it.
Okay,
Definitely not.
Excellent. Thank you for listening
Thank
to
you.
Therapeutic World, and we hope that you tune in soon. Bye bye. And if you do like this video, please give us a like, and remember to press the subscribe button so that we can keep you updated.